All right, we are back. It is the Change of Plans podcast. Joe and Vinny doing the thing here on a Thursday night. Vinny
almost didn't make it.
It's funny. The only reason that there's a podcast tonight is because of my
inability to answer his cell phone.
12-year-old daughter. My daughter was playing on my cell phone, and Vinny tried to cancel.
I did.
And we just weren't having it. So
no, she completely ignored me. Yeah. So I'm here. I made it. It was a rough start to the night.
Aren't you glad that you're here, though?
I do feel immediately better. Like, I was in such a bad mood when I got home. I'm yelling at the dogs. I'm rushing around. I was in such a bad mood. I had to call my wife on my way here and apologize.
What did you do?
Nothing. I gave her.
I mean, you did something. Nobody apologizes for nothing.
Well, no, I had a bad attitude when I walked in the house, and it had nothing to do with my wife or anything she did. She just got the shit end of the stick. It's been a long 2 weeks, so I wasn't really good. But I felt horrible after. That's how I know I'm a good husband. Because good husbands wouldn't feel bad, but I did.
That is true.
Actually, I heard something on the way here that the biggest tell on whether you're going to live like a long, healthy life is how happy you are in your relationship when you're 50.
No way.
Yeah, Harvard did a study. It's not blood pressure, cholesterol, all that. People are happy in their relationship at 50, live longer. I was like, that's pretty awesome. Wow. And my wife's 50, and she's got to be incredibly happy with me. So she's going to live forever. So, hon, when you're listening to this, you can thank me for your long life.
My wife and I have had a recent resurgence of things. It's been going extraordinarily well, and I also just turned 50.
I want to know what are the resurgence? What is that?
You know, I think we were in a little bit of a rut, you might say. Somebody expressed that she felt a little taken for granted, and I recognized what she was saying because she was right.
Spot on. Yeah. Hit the nail on the head.
She was spot on.
But you got to be able to have those conversations with your spouse.
Well, we went too long not having that conversation.
Yep.
Or you know what? Maybe previous when we had that conversation, I was not listening. I was hearing, but I was not listening.
Yeah. Big difference.
And so, over the past few months, I have made a concerted effort to, do the things that she felt were lacking. Basically,
give us some examples.
I'll tell you right now. She felt I was not being a fair and equal partner, that she felt she was doing maybe more than I was doing. And she wasn't wrong. And she wasn't wrong. She stated her case and, was like, this has been pissing me off for a while. And I felt bad. I was like, oh, dude, I'm like, you're like my favorite person. You're like the one person I don't want to let down. That makes me feel bad. Like, I want to. Well,
I'm glad you didn't turn around, because most guys would be like, well, why don't you tell me sooner? And that just inflames the conversation.
Well, again, I kind of did. And she's like, we've talked about this. And I'm like, yeah.
My bad. I shouldn't have said that. That's the other.
No, again.
Like you never ask a question you don't know the answer to, Joe.
Okay. Brilliant. I agree. I also think, generally speaking, when you're on the defensive, especially with someone you're close to, you're immediately going to be defensive and start making right? You're like, well, yeah. Again, I guess I didn't know you felt that way. And she's like, I've told you this a few times. You did? Yeah, yep. You definitely did.
And the defensive-ness, though, has nothing to do with your spouse, because she's right. And that's what happened. Like, when people get defensive, they know you 90% of the time, they're right. And then you're feeling bad.
Yeah.
Because you didn't listen to the stuff before. And it's not like you didn't do it intentionally, But like I think you do, the longer you're in a relationship, you do take it for granted.
Well, but isn't that the thing? I think as the other partner, I think you're like, is he doing it on purpose? Is this
Well, correct.
right?
Yeah.
And so, and again, I mean, right after we had the conversation, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, and I do agree. I will, again, and it's like, I'm not even going to sit here and blow smoke up your ass. I'm just going to do better. I'm going to help you out with more things. And, Stoop, you want to, for instance, my 12-year-old daughter, who's autistic, who's the reason Vinny made it here tonight. Her glasses have broken like 3 times. Generally speaking, the optometrist, who, Yvette, who's amazing, she texts my wife. My wife's like, hey, they're broken, or whatever. There's a warranty, whatever the case may be, or whatever, however it's going to work out. And then I go and I drop them off, and then I go and I pick them up when they're ready.
Yep.
I got Yvette's phone number now. And so Reagan's glasses broke again just about 2 weeks ago. And I just texted Yvette, and I
took care of it.
The glasses, and I told my wife, I said glasses will be here within a week. And that was all. I can do stuff.
Yeah, but
she doesn't have to do everything, right? And again, it's like, I would have said before, well, I'm the one that went and dropped them off and picked them up.
Yeah, but I think too, like, men get it all wrong because women are fairly easy to please. It's the little stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just the, like, there's a pan in the sink, or you do a load of dishes, or like whatever, but it's the little stuff. But the fact that you're able to take a step back and listen, and maybe initially you were defensive, but like you took it all in, and then you took the steps, like you acknowledged it, right? But that goes a long way. But to your point, and to your wife's point, like, marriage is a partnership.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's going to be 90-10 or 60-40, but it can't be that way all the time. But also, when you're doing that stuff as a partner, when you get it done, you also feel better about you, right? Because like you acknowledge, hey, I'm helping out, but this is also a team effort. But everyone tends to get caught up in their life. It's just a natural thing. We all got a million things going on. And when you do have a happy marriage, you do tend to take your other spouse for granted that, well, they'll be there when we get home. We'll get to it tomorrow. And all of a sudden it's 4 months out. So I think you guys being able to have that conversation, I would like to say that's normal, but that's not the norm. And that's why people are in my office, because people can't communicate. It's not yes, sometimes it's financials, it's infidelity, but I would say about 65% of my divorces is just communication. And when that communication breaks down, everything breaks down.
What's funny? And maybe it's only funny to me. There was a point several months ago where my wife was, I would say, angry with me, like aggressively. I felt like I think
you didn't want to go to bed.
I really was like, she's mad at me, and like, seriously, for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what I had done wrong. And again, this is just a couple of years of like, I need you to support me here and do more things for me, and then just not really doing it, and not understanding where you get built up resentment from that. And
but in defense of you, I think people, instead of harboring that for months or a year on end, like, listen, you got to say it, because usually the person doesn't know what they're doing that's upsetting you, right? Like, we're not making a conscious decision to upset you, and you could be upset about something that someone's not doing, but you also can't be upset if he doesn't know, if you don't say anything. So I think that's why, like, it's a two-way street, right? So and if you have a strong enough marriage, you should be able to have those conversations. I know my wife will point out stuff to me a bunch, and sometimes I need it, and sometimes we'll disagree, but we understand the perspective. I mean, I know, so my wife works 2 jobs, and she's getting her doctorate, and we've been, we like to say two ships passing in the night, and it's been tough. It's, but we understand, like I understand where my wife's trying to go and the work she needs to put in. And when I'm busy at work and stressed out from that, she understands that as well. But yes, you do have to make a concerted effort that it's a partnership, and it's not always going to be perfect. But you also got to be able to express yourself, whether it's positive or negative, because that's real life. Because eventually it blows up to a point where you can't recover from. But to your end, that the fact that you acknowledged it and you're doing the steps, but I'm sure you feel better too about it, and your wife's happier, and she's probably thinking, well, maybe I'll say something sooner, and vice versa, instead of holding on to it, because now she knows, okay, he's not going to react this way. And if there's an issue that you're having, she didn't see you react in a negative way, so you're able to do that as well. And then that's how, like, you grow in the marriage. It's, you fall in love and then you grow in love, and that's just part of the growing. Whether you've been together 5 years or 20 years, you guys are always growing and learning. So that's pretty awesome, Joe. It's
Yeah,
pretty
thank
mature
you.
for you.
We're like super cute again these days.
Oh,
You
I
know,
don't like that.
it's like that kind of fun, giddy feeling.
Oh my
Again.
God, we were
It's
walking in.
nice.
Me and my wife went to the mall the other day, and she just grabbed my hand and held it while we walked. Bro, I was in shock, like absolute. Like my jaw hit the floor, and I'm like, "What are you?" I asked her what she was doing.
She likes you. She really liked you in that moment. That's important.
It-
Again, and I think that's the other thing, right? You just literally pointed it out, but like, it's the small thing.
yeah,
You did something cute there that just hit her, and right? Like you gotta recognize that. Because,
yeah.
and that's the other thing, I said to my wife, I'm like, dude, listen, like, I don't know, I'm 50, you're 47, right? I don't want to just like have a, you know what I mean? I want it to be like like we've always had a really great relationship. And like, you know,
But it's
well, again, right? There's the honeymoon phase, and then you settle in.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like the settle in part. The settle in part's kind of boring, right? And
well,
so,
correct.
But
It
again,
is.
if you're attentive, and you know what I mean, again, right? What is it about you that initially your spouse saw that they were butterflies in their stomach when they saw you, right?
Yeah.
It's being able to sort of replicate that,
Well,
but now in a different way, right?
well, that's where I was going to
'cause
go. It's a
we're-
different way.
because we're a team now, right? And so the other thing is, and this was something she expressed, and I thought this was brilliant. I think this is really interesting as far as couples are concerned, but it's like, you're not doing shit for me.
It's
You're
for
doing
us.
shit for us.
Yeah. That's the it is a team thing. So like last weekend, I took a last minute flight to go see my stepson. Right. Having some tough times adjusting to school, doing well in class, but it's a way different social dynamic than he's used to. And I knew my wife was busy. She's working, she's got stuff she's got going on. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna hop on the flight and go. Because it is a team effort, right?
Mhm.
And but it's even the little things like, and my wife does so much more than me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, works 2 jobs, goes to school, my laundry's done, like, and she's just there for me. But it's when you do the little stuff and you don't do it for the acknowledgement, right? Like, I don't say, hey, I did this. But then when you do it, you feel like it's a team, like you're contributing to the team. And that's what it is at the end of the day. Yes, you have your honeymoon phase, and that's all well and good, but the rest of your life is just building that team, because you got to realize it's not about your happiness, right? Because you could be happy and your spouse is miserable, then you realize, well, you're really not that happy. And I heard another quote was actually kind of interesting. The person you're with is a reflection on how much you like yourself, right? So, or like how much you value yourself, right? Because if you have, like, we're blessed with strong spouses and a great marriage, but that's because we're happy with ourselves and where we're at, right? But when you're in these abusive relationships, that it's a reflection of you, and it's not blaming you, but that's just a reflection of where you are in life. So, like, your happiness starts with you, but when you find out you're good in your life, you're gonna find that person that's makes that life enhanced and not worse, right? So when I was going through my divorce, I'm like, I'm never gonna meet anyone again. I'm not in the headspace for it. But there was just something about my wife that, like, it made me feel good about me being with her. And I don't think I've ever had that. Like, I never felt like, man, you know what? No matter how my day is going, you know, am I doing enough? Am I a good lawyer? Am I being a good person? But I go home and I have my wife, and that's a reflection of me. And then I feel better about myself. So I thought that was like a cool quote I heard today too.
That is a cool quote. I like it.
Yeah. So that was that in a nutshell. But we got here. Joe's a new man, all giddy about his marriage. And just for the record, I'm always giddy about my marriage. But Joe knows that 'cause he hates when I brag about my
Oh, it's
wife.
so annoying. Good Lord. Oh.
Dude, I sat on the plane, so I went and saw my stepson, and I didn't have any Wi-Fi, so I was just trying to find new wallpaper for my phone, and I was just trying to find the best smile she has because she has the best smile. So you want to barf now? Yep, that's it. It made me so happy.
What else is going on with you?
Oh man, been a rough couple months. It's just it's a lot of busy stuff. Work is absolutely atrocious. In my legal world, so we're struggling with finding that balance of like getting back to have some work life balance. And I think that's part of adjustment, not having a kid around and forcing myself not to work. But yeah, it's been crazy. Yesterday was so I got a murder trial coming up on December 8th. So I filed a motion to suppress. And if I win, then the case is going to go away. So not stressful, no pressure, right? Life in prison or I win this motion. So I had that yesterday, and but that's where I love it. Like the problem in what people who don't practice law don't understand is when an attorney, a good attorney, is on trial or on these big motion hearings, the rest of the practice kind of just shuts off. And I'm lucky to have a great staff that supports me. But it's cool because like it's almost like battle rapping, right? You're going up against the state, you're trying to outsmart the cop. Um, and it was funny yesterday because I'm a pretty like funny personality, right? Even in court, like kind of how I am here is how I am in court. And so everyone thinks I'm just a funny guy who everyone likes a little bit. And yeah, they found out yesterday. Yesterday was a good day. We didn't finish. Um but I nice cop, Southington cop, probably gonna pull me over all the time. Young guy, but he done fucked
Oh, he'll
up.
have a long career
And
pulling you over. That's nice.
you know, it's a lot of pussyfooting around from the state. And then I think I had like 25 minutes before the lunch break and like 2 Adderall, 4 Zins, and 4 shots of espresso later. This guy's looking at me like I'm an absolute maniac. But I loved it because then you're just trying to outsmart the other person. So like that stuff was good, but then you get back to your desk and I got 2 trials at the same time in the same courthouse on Monday. And I go ask the judge, I'm like, well, how's that going to happen? He's like, you just need to make it work. And you're like, I'm like, what? And like 2 like pretty big divorce cases. So, but yeah, I think it's just like everybody, you get in that rut where you're really just tunnel vision on one thing, and I'm just trying to pull myself out of it. So, and that's another reason why I'm thankful that your daughter plays on your phone, because like I automatically feel a little bit better being here, and I think that's one of the purposes of the show.
I'm so glad. You know, it's funny. I'm glad you brought up the work-life balance because that was one of the things I was, I would say, sort of hiding behind, but the excuse of, why was I not doing more? And it's like, well, I run a business and I do real estate, right? And I work on the radio and I do all these things. you know, like that was sort of my excuse. And I've had to, I dialed a bunch of things back. And once I dialed those things back and I began to strike a better work-life balance, that's when it was time to like, oh, all right, let me focus on things here.
Yeah, and I think too, and there's a time to have a work-life balance and a time to fucking grind, right? And this is what I try to tell young kids, right? Because young kids now want work-life balance. Like,
Yeah, that's like
yeah,
number one priority.
yeah, and it's crazy because when I was a kid, or when I was 30, or 35, or 40, like I wasn't really, I didn't know what work-life balance was. I wish I knew it a little bit earlier in my life because maybe things would have been a little bit different. But these kids now, they're like, ah, nah, man, fucking 9 to 5 is crazy. I gotta have a life, right? And it's like this guy's mixing lemonade with his bourbon. It's so gross, you know.
It's strong. Holy smokes, dude.
But I think
We got like 45 more minutes too. What do you want from me?
oh, we got longer than that, dude. There's gonna be a long show. But I think too, I was talking to the judge about time being your biggest commodity. There was someone who works in New Britain courthouse that's had a massive stroke, young dude, right? One of our friends just got diagnosed with ALS.
Ah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And it, like, out of the blue, she was healthy, ran around, the whole shebang, and boom, gets hit. Another one of my friends got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Like, and you're taking stock of your life, and it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna say, no, that's 3, Joe. You're clear. You're in the clear, dude.
Good.
But it's really just, you got to keep that in the back of your mind. And I'm the first one to forget to do it until I talk about it. Because then you're like, well, you know what? Like, what am I really stressing over? Like, at the end of the day, the work's going to get done at some point. I can't be everywhere at once, but I can't get my time back, right? And you never know when you're going to get that check from life. Like, hey, no, now you got some serious issues, and you're going to look back at your life was like, everything I was stressed about, am I worried about that now? No, I'm worried about having more time.
Correct. You're never going to say you wished you worked more.
Never. Or no one's ever, when you die, no one's going to ever talk about the stuff you had, right? They're going to talk about, were you a douchebag or a good guy? The fun times, the laughs. They don't talk about, he had this, that, and a third. Like, no one talks about that. And if you're lucky to live a fucking long life, that's going to be the last thing on everyone's mind is like what car you were driving and what watch you had. They're going to remember the trips you took, the time you took. And that's really, that's really what your grind has to be about. Because none of this shit's guaranteed. We all die. Like, we all know all of our stories end the same. We're dead. Like, that's it.
A buddy of mine actually passed away. I found out yesterday, but he might have died the day before. 50 years old, and I hadn't seen him in a while. We haven't hung out in quite a long time, but I was reading his obituary earlier, and to your point, the obituary focused on his infectious laugh, his love of karaoke, the joy he brought to people, the good time that he was. Nobody talked about the shit car he drove or, his, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, to your point, none of that really matters.
No, like, none of it does. No one remembers, and you bust your ass to get all of this shit. Like, so even yesterday, so I probably got home at like 7:30, a little later night, and I just had sat down, and my wife was done teaching yoga, right? And I mean, my wife was working from 7:30 in the morning, gets done with her job, teaches her yoga class, and 2 kids knock on the door, like from Frontier. And now I'm mad, right? They're just doing their job. So I go outside, and then and they were super young. Like one kid was like, I asked him how long he tried to grow his mustache. That's how young it was, because he had that like baby fur on his face. And then we just got to talking. I'm like, I don't want any frontier shit. They're like, well, do you have any life advice? I'm like, life advice? Like, you guys, you guys are gonna sell me a Bible next? But so I spent maybe 5-10 minutes talking to him, and the kid's like, well, that's better advice my father ever did. So I went in, and it's a holiday, so I gave him a little bit of money apiece. It's a shitty job, dude. You're out here at 8 o'clock at night selling Frontier. And the kids were just so like taken back. And what I told them, I was like, well, now you guys got to do something for somebody else, because that's how this life works. But it's taken 10 minutes out to have a conversation with somebody, and maybe you change the kid's thought process, right? And I didn't really have at the moment, I didn't think I had 10 minutes to spare, but I did, right? Because that 10 minutes could change somebody else, and that's 10 good minutes that you're spending doing something good instead of scrolling on TikTok, which I'm the worst offender of. I would just sit on that thing. I mean, my toilet time is fantastic right now because I just sit there all day. But I think it's just taking the time out and realizing that, listen, you might not get an opportunity to help somebody or talk to somebody again, or you might not see that friend again, right? So how hard is it to take a minute out of your day to call or shoot a text? And I'm an offender of it, but I try to do better.
Today is World Kindness Day. Did you know that?
No, I didn't see that in the news.
The World Kindness Foundation, which is a real thing, this is a holiday. This is the 30th year now that it's World Kindness Day. And they suggested, and I thought it was kind of nice, that you should compliment 3 people today. I like your glasses, Vin.
Joe, I am proud of you for listening to your wife and being receptive to some criticism that sounded like it was self-deserved and took some action to take care of it.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, I think what I really, what I like about me.
Oh my, everything, Joe. We've been hearing it for a year and some change.
No,
now.
I know. I don't want to sound like an asshole. I really don't. But you know what?
I hate when people say that because you're going to sound like an asshole.
Maybe I will. I don't like to be wrong because I'm a human like you. I'm open to new ideas and new information. I think, I want to know everything. When I want to know something, I like to talk to people that know what they're talking about. I feel like being around experts, people that are really good at what they do. That's where you learn.
I'm gonna.
And I think you have to listen. I was just telling somebody this story the other day, right? I've been doing audio editing for 30 years in a row. The big program everybody uses is called Adobe Audition. I teach it. I've been using it literally since the first version came out in 1997. I started working at this radio station 2 years ago, and this young fellow who's the production director said, hey, if you have a few minutes, I'll show you that program. I said, okay, yeah, sure. And I went and I sat down with him, and he showed me the way he does things, checks. And any questions? I said, no, I think I got it. And I immediately started making really good commercials there. And within a couple of days, I don't even know how I'm not sure who he talked to, but somebody there told him, he knows that he teaches that program.
The guy's like, why don't you tell me?
And he came up to me and he said, oh, you should have told me that. And I said, dude, honestly, I thought to myself, if this guy knows one shortcut or one thing on this program that I don't know, I'll learn something new.
But
I didn't. No, I'm just kidding. He actually did show me something. he showed me something that he does. It's a shortcut that I would have never even thought was a thing.
Yeah.
And it's something that I regularly do now. So again, I'm open to if you can show me like, hey, look at that. I guess what I'm saying is I'm open-minded. I'm open-minded, and I just feel like that's the best way to live. Stop assuming you fucking know everything or that.
If you think you're the smartest person in the room,
well, here's the other
you're
thing.
the dumbest
right?
person in the room.
If you think you have some special knowledge or information or smarts that nobody else has, you're like in a cult. Okay? You got to be humble enough to be like, I know some shit, right? I mean, I know how to do a podcast. I'm really good at it. I'm kind of well regarded for it. I'm good at radio. I'm highly regarded for that. I don't do jack shit out wiffle ball. That's about it.
Oh my God. I was waiting for it.
The only other thing.
I was waiting for
everything else that I do and I know is like fucking mediocre. I don't know a lot of shit. I love science. I watch science stuff and I watch nature stuff all the time. I find that all really fascinating. I don't know shit about it. I really don't understand how any of it works. I watch shit on string theory and quantum physics, and quite honestly, I have no idea what they're talking about. I don't like. I've never watched a fucking video with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like, fuck this guy.
This guy don't know what he's talking about.
I would like, I would never presume to like tell an expert like, bullshit. And I don't understand people who have like taken on this mentality of like, if I don't understand something, you're bullshit because I don't get it.
That's my life every day as an attorney, because people pay me a handsome sum of money, then tell me that I'm wrong and they know better than me.
Right.
Which it just blows my mind every time. And I'm like, do you tell your surgeon how to do his surgery after you YouTubed how to do a knee replacement? That sounds crazy, Vin. And I'm like, yeah, because that's crazy. But to your point about being open-minded, this is how open-minded I am. So I go to Purgatory every day to get my coffee, right? I know the ladies down there, they only work for me. That's in my head. I demand my coffee. But there's a spa in my building that just a bunch of assholes work there. So I said, I might have said there are a bunch of bitches, right? And then she's like, well, I don't like that word. I'm like, what do you mean? I mean, sweet, call them bitches. She's like, see, that's my point, right? Like when you call a man a bitch, you're saying he's a female, and apparently that's worse than being a male. Then I'm like, oh shit, I didn't think about it that way. And it was just a stupid conversation we're having, but I literally thanked her for having the conversation. I mean, I still can't figure out what's the right. She said assholes is pretty much across the board is a safe bet. Right.
Yep.
But yeah, like for a minute, I'm like, this lady's ridiculous fembot. And then I'm like, no, I'm the dumb one. Right? Because what's so bad about being a female? Don't answer that question, Joe. That wasn't one that was supposed to get.
Is that rhetorical?
But to your point, yes, you got to be able to have conversations. And if you're a quote unquote expert in the field, like for me, I'm doing this murder trial. I'm doing it with Attorney Cortella, great attorney, great guy. And I didn't have to, kind of tag along, but there's always something to learn. Right? If you're not learning, you're not growing. And if you're not learning, you're dumb.
So I teach broadcasting, right? I teach radio classes. And 2 classes ago, my students said to me, speaking of the video guy said this about audio stuff. And I said, when it comes to audio stuff, disregard everything he's ever said to you. Stay in your lane. I'm not sitting there telling you how to do video and shit. Like, stay in your lane.
And I'll stay in mine.
Yeah. I know my shit. Stop telling them stuff. Like,
and Jim, you don't got to apologize, by the way. I wasn't talking about you.
I thought he was joking. Are you talking about me? Sorry, Vin. No, we don't. We would never shit talk the people watching.
I wouldn't use your name, Jim. I would be like,
we shit talk people that don't watch.
yeah, like, so, but it's funny. And I think in this day and age now, I think talk about people being open-minded, you got the 4 Republicans bucking the system now with the Epstein stuff.
Do you want to talk about that?
I just think it's what's even, one, I think it's absolutely fascinating that we're still talking about this shit, right? Like, just assume he was there doing what he was doing. Can we move on? But the fact that, like, the president, head of FBI, everyone's trying to put the full court brakes on it, and now the Republicans are like, oh shit, nah, dude, we're gonna go out. But it's just like, I can't believe this is what we deal with in American government. Like, we're worried about some pervert who hung himself, right? Like, and everyone knows the president was around it. I'm not saying the dude's a pedophile, but, like, listen, I don't have any pedo friends. That's kind of where I draw the line. Like, I can hang out with anyone, but no pedos unless you're cutting me a check. Then we can hang out once a month when I see you in court.
Fair.
But yeah, it's wild. It's like we live. What was that movie when people thought it was real life, but it was a show? Truman? Was it the Truman Show?
Yeah.
Like, I feel that like we're just now, like, there's like aliens out there with like TV cameras, and they're just watching our sitcoms every day.
If Donald Trump did what's been alleged in these emails,
it's wild.
Here's all I'll say on the subject. If he did something wrong, or he did exactly what, again, Epstein says he did in these emails, Donald Trump would be acting exactly like he is right now.
Listen, he's a guilty defendant, and I deal with these guys on a daily basis.
Also, let me make a suggestion, and you as a criminal defense lawyer, I think you could tell me how right this is. You have to stick with one lie. He keeps fluctuating between I don't know the guy and it's a Democrat hoax. Bro, stick to one story or the other. Once you start bouncing the inconsistency, that's where you gotta I don't know the guy. We got you on video. Is that him? The only time I met 2 videos, I met him twice.
It's AI. But no, if you're going to lie, people, pick the lie and die.
Yes.
By that lie.
Yes.
And you will find after a while you start believing.
Well, what does George Costanza say? It's not a lie if you believe it.
Like, literally, you will start believing it to a point where now it's your truth, and that's how you win.
Here's the thing, and I think some of you will appreciate this. He did it. We know he did. It's gonna come out, and he's just gonna, like,
who cares? It's not gonna change anything.
He's just gonna roll through it, and suddenly we're gonna be like, well, I mean, 15's not bad.
Yo, Diddy.
Megyn Kelly said that today, by the way.
Yeah.
Megyn Kelly said it's not like they were 5-year-olds.
Oh, yo,
small favors.
If I use that line as a defense attorney,
right? Meh. Your Honor, I mean, come on. It's not like she was 8.
It is so wild. But I will tell you who's hoping this shit comes out. Diddy. Because once this shit comes out, he's like, Trump, you got to pardon me because you're way worse than I was. Like, it's amazing. But then once again, not to go back down this train, but like, if this was with any other president.
Oh, yeah, they would have resigned 2 weeks ago.
I mean, people were going nuts when Biden pardoned his kid before he was about to get launched. He's being a good fucking dad. Like, if I'm Biden's son and my dad's the president and you're letting me go to jail, you're the worst father ever. Ever.
Do you remember that constitutional crisis moment in Barack Obama's administration
When he wore the tan suit.
When he wore the tan suit.
I'm in your brain,
This
dude.
is at least at that level. I mean, come on. You're disrespecting the office of the presidency with your fucking casual Friday business casual attire.
It's so funny, man. And it's a crazy world. But I think the more I talk to people, I think people are starting to come around being like, I think we've been had, right? But then he throws out I'm going to give everyone a $2,000 rebate off the tariffs.
That's helping.
And P.S., do the math on that. We don't even have the money to do that. Like, we don't have enough tariff money to pay it. But the best part is the 50-year mortgages.
Oh, my God. Did you see? So, okay.
We got to talk about the 50-year mortgages because this is part of my business.
I do real estate. He does real estate closings, right?
We know what we're talking about.
So on a $400,000 loan, a 30-year mortgage,
you're paying $400,000 in
you
interest.
end up paying like $460,000 on a 50-year mortgage.
It's like $900,000.
Your payment would be $300 a month less. $300 a month, right? So for a year, do the math. Was it $1,200? And to what Vin just said, yeah, you'll have paid almost $900,000 on repayment of a $400,000 loan.
It's just another.
Who is he helping?
Oh, it's the lenders, dude.
Who is he helping? This is not encouraging home ownership. This is helping mortgage brokers close big loans and get big commissions on them.
Well, it's also it's similar to, so I had to work through the whole countrywide crisis when that crash came. But back then people were getting, 6-month ARMs at 2% interest rate, and it was the greatest thing in the world. But then they don't do the math when that shit balloons, right? And people just won't do the math. They're like, oh my God, I got 50 years to pay it off. Or I'll just die and never pay it off. Well, then you're screwing your family. But once again, it's just crazy ideas that get thrown out there. I think, how I heard how he came up with it, though. I forgot who he was meeting with. And the guy came with a poster board. Right? And who did the 30-year mortgage? Was that Truman or was that Ford?
I think that was Ford.
It was Ford, right? And then they had, Ford's picture, the 30-year mortgage. And then they had Trump's picture.
Oh, my God.
The 50-year mortgage. And within 10 minutes of seeing this board, this dude announced on his own, he announced it on his own social media platform. Just say that out loud. This guy has his own social media platform.
Can I just tell you something right now?
Family show around here, Joe.
No, I don't like that. Anyway. All right.
Are we all right, Joe?
I think
you hear us?
Let me just double check. All right, everything's back. I locked the door, and I guess this cat was still in the room, and just went over there and hacked at the cord.
Where were we?
Yeah, so marketing. If you put someone's face on a marketing material and you give it to them and they see it, they're gonna buy it. It's about a 95% guarantee rate because people love their image. And when you're talking about somebody like Donald Trump, that is especially the case. For sake of a dialogue, maybe the assumption is you're never going to own that home for 50 years. You'll own it for 20, then sell it. Yeah, probably. lower payments take the appreciation, run at the lower payment. I'm not a real estate guy, just wondering if that's a legitimate take. Jim, yeah, I mean, I suppose there is something to that. You also may die well before that 50 years is up, but that same thing could happen in a 30-year mortgage. I think the bigger point, though, is, if you do end up staying in the house, and some people do for 50 years, you're, essentially doubling the price of the house. That's insane.
Well, also, too, you got to remember your monthly payments on a 50-year mortgage. You're not hitting any principal. So say right now you got a 30-year mortgage and your mortgage $1,200, you have $300 going in towards your principal. Like you get the year 10 or 15, and then you're chunking away at the principal.
Yeah,
when you have a 50-year, like
literally have no equity in the home.
Correct, because you're paying interest for the first 10 years.
You'll have not paid off a single bit of your loan. You'll still not technically have equity in the house, and that is a major. I mean, that obviously you can. A lot of people will get home equity loans off of what they paid in the house, what your ownership is. So there's I think much bigger points to that.
Well, my issue is it's just these ideas that are just not well thought out, that are just getting thrown out there.
Somebody called me a Democrat the other day. And I'm not. I'm a registered Republican. I've been my entire life. That's hilarious.
That's the next card.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I got the police.
I got distracted. Well, we're gonna do that one for the.
So somebody called me a Democrat the other day because I point out shit that I don't like about Donald Trump. Again, it's like this 50-year mortgage is an idiotic idea. And you'd think a real estate guy like him would think this out a little bit more. But again, he's on the other side. He's the guy that's got like a mortgage firm and has people in, you know what I mean? So that's good for him. I don't think we should blow up boats in the Caribbean. I think we have to declare war, or if this is like a DEA thing, I think I think there should be warrants. I mean, there's such a thing as due process. I can't believe that I'm like an asshole because I think tariffs are a shitty idea.
Well,
so did Ronald Reagan. I mean, for Christ's sake, what?
But I think the thing with the boats is, and I find this fascinating because the guy's playing like fucking like an Atari game with fucking boats coming across the ocean. And so I was watching an interview today with the president of Colombia, and he's like, well, one, these people who are on the boats aren't the drug dealers. They fucking sucker the farmers in and all these poor people and threaten them to drive these boats, right? You're not getting the intel. You're not stopping the drug dealers. Right. The point is to get the intel to get the drug dealers.
Pablo Escobar driving his boat to America. Wow.
Well, then I heard another thing today, and it's actually he's an attorney I follow in Texas, like old-time criminal defense attorney. And he had a really interesting point about like Colombian cartels and Mexican cartels. And he's like, the worst thing we did in the cartel fight was stop the Colombian cartels. Because he said there was one or two major cartels in Colombia, much farther away from America, and they were ruthless, but they ran it like a business. And once we got rid of them, everyone went up to Mexico, who is now very close to America, and there's a bunch of cartels everywhere. And now we have a more issue, which is just crazy to think about in concept, right? We're talking about which cartels are better, right? But the fact that we're out here playing asteroid with fucking boats, just blowing up shit. I mean, man, put the shoe on the other foot, right? It's not like we don't have drug fucking gangs, cartels in America that are running drugs out of this country. Imagine if some other country just started shooting down our fucking drug dealers, and our country would go berserk for these drug dealers because just unilaterally just blowing boats up. But everyone here thinks it's kind of fucking fun to watch.
Gavin Newsom should go to jail because he's doing a terrible job in California, which has on its own the fourth largest economy on earth.
Correct.
I mean,
like it's
again
wild.
If Barack Obama said he wanted to arrest the governor of Texas, what?
If Barack Obama said he wanted to build a fucking ballroom and started slinging gold all over every bathroom in the White House, how do you think that would roll? Like, just go there. Or how about the fact that you get a fucking $800 million airplane, and then once the government buys it, transfers it over to Trump because he doesn't want to fly the Air Force One. So I'm going to go get that plane from Qatar. It's fucking insane.
2 years ago, John Kitna, the former NFL quarterback, his kid was at one of the Florida schools. I think it was University of Miami. And he got busted with child porn. Okay. And the next day at the broadcasting school, one of the sports guys, it came up. We were doing a sports class as it happened that night. And this kid goes, something to the effect of like, I'm not trying to defend this guy here. And I go, hold up a minute.
No,
I go,
you
I
say
don't know
that,
what you're about to say.
but don't say it.
I could
Just
promise
don't
you
say
it's
it.
going to sound terrible. Again, and right, so somebody called me a Democrat because I'm not willing to do the Megyn Kelly tomorrow on the radio. I'm not going to say, well, I mean, look, they were barely legal. Which means they're not, right? We're not talking about 5-year-olds. Like, what are we doing? I think when you have to suspend your own morals to excuse your guy,
you're a defense attorney.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You couldn't possibly defend that. And yet I know tomorrow that's exactly what's going to happen. Turn on Fox News. They haven't talked about the Epstein thing at all in the last 48 hours.
But what do you think about the Democrats just fucking all of a sudden saying, fuck it, we give in? Like, you took this hard stance.
Well, apparently they're going to negotiate extensions on the subsidies. I
can tell you why they did all of that, because the midterms coming up, right?
Well, yeah.
So they're like, we're going to hold steady and fast, get all of our people in, and then they're like, we're going to K. But I think from a Democrat side, you finally had some momentum, right? Like, you finally had the heat on the people you wanted the heat on.
Right.
And then I don't know what changed. Just say, well, you know what? Never mind. We're going to open the government again.
So here's the thing. By and large, if you look at all the polling and just based on the election last Tuesday, people hold the Republicans and they hold Trump responsible for the government shutdown. I mean, that's true. And I've heard the excuse, well, those were traditionally Democratic states. Those were states that had been leaning Republican, and the fact that they wholeheartedly rejected it.
Every county in Virginia, Mississippi is wild.
Connecticut saw 29 towns that were previously Republican run flip to Democratic run. Historically speaking, your congressional midterms, which are next year, historically speaking, the party in power gets slaughtered in the midterms. And the last time it didn't happen, or the only time actually it didn't happen, was with Joe Biden a couple years ago when that red wave was supposed to come. And that one petered out. I think the Republicans right now have to be thinking about those midterms. And if you really are a Trump person, you got to get your act together, because right now what you've proven going into those midterms is you cannot govern. This is the second longest shutdown in history, the first one being in the first Trump administration. When the Republicans are in charge, we've shown over and over again an inability to lead, an inability to come up with meaningful legislation. Again, great job with the DEI. We fucking showed them. Grocery prices are up, inflation is up, and yet this horse's ass in the White House continues to just defy facts and figures. Fire people in your administration who point out the fucking facts and figures.
Whoa, don't hold up that card, Joe.
That is the reason why I have such a problem with Trump, is he's a fucking moron.
Joe, you want to read the card?
Listen, had this guy paid those SNAP benefits before Tuesday,
they would have won.
They would have done fantastic.
Yep.
In the elections, they could have built off the success. Donald Trump was within 10 points in New Jersey, by the way.
Yeah.
He was within 10 points in New York. And so if he wasn't continuing to act like a buffoon, and he would have done something that they did anyway, and then reopen the government days later anyway, and take the lumps. And then again, he goes on TV and he says this Epstein hoax is it's like they just kicked your ass twice.
Joe, read the card. We got to calm you down. Just read that first card, Joe. Jesus Christ.
Real quick, Jim says, are those legit? I'm Republican, but voted Democrat in the local election because 3 of my friends were running and they happen to be Democrat, but I wouldn't have voted for any of them if they were in an election to run the entire country. Yeah. Listen, Jim, I think that, listen, again, when I, and this is super important, again, for anybody who's listening to this, my criticizing Trump
is not criticizing Republicans.
Is not an endorsement of Joe Biden.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I like Kamala Harris. It does. It's just, it means that Trump's doing stupid shit all the time. And amazing. I don't like it. And I won't excuse it because it's not good for the country. And I'm not going to fucking pretend it is because that's my guy, because he's fucking not. He's a fucking con man. And more people are noticing it.
Yeah.
So you can keep your head in the sand, or you can look at reality. He has done abso-fucking-lutely nothing to improve the quality of life in this country. Zero.
But
we got rid of DEI. We don't have the Epstein files. Inflation's up. Grocery prices are up. The immigration rates have led to higher beef and vegetable. Thanksgiving's going to be more expensive this year. More expensive than Biden's bullshit. But terrible fucking job by Trump so far. Terrible.
But here's my problem is you could be a Republican, and I'm neither. I really don't.
Yes, you could be a Republican and say our Republican president's doing a shitty job.
And that's my problem.
And that the Republican Congress should get their shit together, put some legislation together, and get this fucking buffoon to sign it before you lose the House.
Correct.
Before you lose the Senate, because I'll tell you what, come November 2026, you can kiss those goodbye. There's no, at this point.
Oh, man, Jim, you got him going. You got him going.
I'm telling you, this guy's fucked it up big time.
Don't read Jim's last comment. We have to read the card. So,
Jim,
no,
this is important.
This is my podcast.
Again, what is DEI? DEI is not what we're led to believe it is. DEI are programs that encourage minorities and people who generally wouldn't get into those fields to get into those fields. You're getting people with natural ability and desire to get into a field. People who would never think to become pilots who are good at flying will get into DEI programs and become really good pilots.
Yeah,
when you're in DEI, you have to be really good to get the fucking program to pay for you to be able to do this shit. That's the whole point.
And it wasn't, DEI is not some quota companies were trying to reach on hiring all this background. That's not the way the stuff is. And I know firsthand because my wife works for CREC. And DEI went away and half of CREC's program, which is probably the best program in the state for special education, was gone. And now you're looking at, I think the state's looking for 78,000 special education teachers and paras and stuff, right? And without these programs and without people having the opportunity to do these things, and DEI wasn't perfect, but it provided opportunities. But we're going to change subjects No, you're gonna read the first card, Joe, because we got to get back on track.
Vin, I can't read this.
You can read it. This
is clearly a game meant for a couple. Like
I agree.
Here's the question. You ready for this? We're gonna end the show with some fun.
No, we're not done yet, Joe. We got to get back on lighter notes, dude. It got a little too hot.
How would you react if you caught me masturbating? Definitely a question I'd love to ask my wife. It'd be hilarious to ask her.
Why don't you call her down here? So, Joe, how would you react if you call?
I would call the police and we would stop being friends. I'd be like, Vin, what the fuck, dude? Where did you get the idea that was cool?
You'd call the cops?
Yes!
That is wild.
I assume you'd just be going at it and not stopping. What am I going to do? Watch? I'm not going to wait for you to finish.
There's zero shot, bro.
I'm like, oh my God, you'll never fucking believe it.
I would take a picture of you and just use it for every blackmail moment I could ever have.
My wife, like Vinny, is an attorney, and I hear she does employment law, and I'm telling you the shit that she has read to me that people have done in cases. Like, I can't imagine somebody would go to work and think like, you know what? I'm just going to jerk off in the break room today. See how that goes.
Dude, I got the best story kind of about these lines. We're going to do one of these cards. That is a couple's card.
This is the next one's actually very good.
All right, we'll do that one. But let me tell you the story. So I used to do a lot of corporate work for a manufacturing company. And so I get a call from the president of the company. And the guy's like, yo, we're getting sued. And I'm like, well, what happened? He's like, could you just come in the office? I'm like, all right. So he's like, listen, we have a guy. We got to do the sexual harassment training. So they have a guy who teaches it. And I guess some lady came in with what looked like a herpes on her lip. So he proceeded to print out how you get herpes and gave it to her, so she didn't spread it around the building. I'm like, you're a sexual harassment guy. And they were like pictures, like, this is how you get herpes. Like, you got to go deep dive, find this shit. And I'm like, I'm like, what you need to do is call your insurance company and write a big fat fucking check, you weirdos. And then I go into like the factory and there's like the old Budweiser posters and all this stuff. And I'm like, bro, could you do me a favor and just start taking some of this stuff down? You know those old posters, like, when you were a kid, your cool friends had them hanging in the room, like the Budweiser chicks. I miss those days where you got excited about seeing a hot chick in a poster. Porn's ruined all of that.
Yeah.
I don't get excited about anything anymore. You won't catch me masturbating in your house.
Cindy Crawford in jean shorts and a bikini top was
all you
needed.
Were you a Cindy Crawford or a Kathy Ireland?
I had all 9 of Cindy Crawford's posters. And I had 1 Kathy Ireland poster.
Okay, that's respectable.
I had a very cool dorm room. All right, this is actually a good question, and I dig this. This could be fun and funny and insightful. What do you think is my biggest fear?
Ooh. Oh man, what is Joe's biggest fear? I mean, given the fact that you're a pretty big family man, I would say, like, not being here for your family, the fear of having another heart attack, like having that close of a moment where, you know what, I'm not going to be there for my kids when they get older and missing out on that because I had such a close scare first. That would be my guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. Yeah, I do think that probably is my biggest fear.
Yeah.
Just like your biggest fear would be
no, getting caught masturbating.
Getting caught masturbating at my house, and then I call the cops, and I'm like, holy shit, you won't believe what this guy's doing. He won't stop. I think your biggest fear would be not seeing Claudia's smile.
Oh my God. Yeah. Imagine if you could catch a disease where your like lips fall off and you can't smile. Speaking of which, I got to go to this. Like, yeah, that was crazy.
Also, wait real quick, Jim. See, this is what I'm talking about. Trump third term. Yeah, violate the Constitution.
Yo,
I mean, again, Jim, you're better than this. You have
Jim,
principles, Jim. Stick to your fucking principles.
Jim, I mean, it was kind of ironic you brought up Trump while masturbating, but we're not going
Ew.
to. That's kind of wild. Maybe that's my biggest fear.
Orange hands and shit. Ew.
So I went to the gym yesterday, my old gym, yesterday morning. And there was a guy, he's probably like mid-50s, good dude. I haven't seen him in a couple of years. He got what is it? Sepsis?
Oh, nuts.
Dude, no hands, no legs. They had to remove both. What's Jim saying? Fourth term.
He'll probably do all four, to Jim's point.
You know what? Never mind. We're going to end it now. Goddamn Jim. Once again, Jim, taking over the show. Good old Jimbo. But yeah, fourth term, third term. Just put a crown and fucking let him wear a cape. Just be a king. Right after he gets to have the Washington Redskins stadium named after him. Like here's another point. Fuck it. We'll just go in on it. Like the fact that you're such an egomaniac. They're like, I need this fucking Coliseum named after me.
Yes, because he's thinking like an emperor would.
But so all the issues out there, and this is the shit you see out there, and then people aren't getting SNAP benefits, but you're bragging about the updated Lincoln bathroom. That's something that Lincoln would have done, which is hilarious in itself.
Remember when John McCain didn't know he had 7 houses? He thought he had 6, and people were like, "You're really out of touch." Yes, it's like that.
It's just but it's crazy out there, man. I think it's just it's so divided. It's so weird. Like I don't understand the concept because we all wake up and step out into the same fucking earth. Like
right.
We're all
again, I'm not interested in doing the mental gymnastics to pretend like the emperor has no clothes. I can't do that. I just cannot do that.
That's a great analogy because I can see Trump playing that role in a TV movie. Yo, he would be that guy. Check out my new suit. And he's just butt ass naked, looking like an overdone chicken nugget with legs. Dude.
I mean, my God, he would do it at this point. And some people would be like, yeah, no, that's a nice suit. It's got the long tie and all that.
Yo, I want to know what length tie he wears because that is like, that's got to be custom made. Like, I wear ties every day.
Yeah, I have a hard time getting my tie to be long. Man, he does get the length on that.
He does. But good for Trump. I'm happy for him and all of his supporters just rocking out. We got anything going on this weekend?
What is this weekend?
Oh my God, I got to tell you about this.
It's almost Thanksgiving, but that's like 2 weeks.
One more thing and then we could go. Anyone who drives an electric car is got to be a psychopath. Because I fly down. So I booked my flight on Thursday night. I fly down. It's like 10 o'clock on Friday night. I'm at budget. They have 1 car left. It's an electric truck. Now, mind you, I got to drive back from my Airbnb to the college, all this stuff. And I'm like, lady, I don't think this is going to work. She's like, oh, no, you're going to have plenty of mileage. I spent my whole fucking weekend staring at this dashboard and just watching my life flash before my eyes. And I had to sit in a parking lot for like 40 minutes to quarter charge. And then my kid's like, hey, can we drive around? And I'm like, I felt like the poorest parent in the world because I was like, yo, we got like a 5-mile radius, dude. So I got to get back to the airport. So I couldn't even drive the kid around because I'm driving this stupid electric car. Oh, Jim drives an electric car. Yeah. Figures. Yeah. I knew it. Fucking you. Yeah. Jim Bracken drives an electric car, and that is perfect for him. It's insane, bro. It's just, you just stare at it. It's crazy.
A good friend of mine went to her son's wedding in Oklahoma, and same bullshit. Got an electric car and almost missed the wedding because she got stuck for like an hour charging the car to get the quarter charge, and it was a fucking disaster.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'll be surprised if Budget could turn on that car in the morning. Like I just couldn't believe it. And then I just felt like a loser parent. I'm like, we ended up at like a dive bar because I couldn't drive anywhere. I'm like, never again. What a trip. What a trip. But I got there, got to see the kids, so it was fun. Anyways, change of plans. CT.com. No more reading Jim Bracken comments.
Why? I love Jim.
I know, but he sets you off, dude. And I got here late. I got to go home.
Do you think so? No. Listen, this is all an act.
Yeah, he loves Trump, actually.
I'm just performing here. I am an actor. At the end of the day, if I'm being honest, I don't really give a shit.
Nah, but that's the perks of being white and 45 or 50. We're pretty much bulletproof.
Yeah.
We're gonna be good.
I don't care what's going on. It really
fuck everybody else, right? Like, who cares?
I'd rather nothing's going on, but I don't. Yeah, I don't really
and I'm not driving any fishing boats, so I'm in the clear. Yeah, no boats. Stay off the boats, everybody.
I like gas guzzlers.
All right, guys, it's been real. Hope you guys enjoyed that one.
I think this was a good one.
All right, good.
You know what? And we should. Maybe we'll have Jim Bracken on next time.
Jim Bracken, feel free to come on down with your electric car. We probably won't hear you pulling the driveway, so make sure you call us.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious. All right, everybody, have a good night. Thanks for watching Change of Plans.